Good afternoon. My name is Veena Misra, and as Department Head of the Electrical and Computer Engineering Department, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the Fall 2024 ECE graduation ceremony. It is my pleasure now to introduce you to our Fall 2024 commencement speaker. Dr. Dan Stancil is the Alcoa Distinguished Professor Emeritus at NC State. Dr. Stancil holds engineering degrees from Tennessee Tech, bachelor's, and MIT, master's and PhD. He has spent many years as a professor at both Carnegie Mellon University and NC State. While at Carnegie Mellon, he served as associate head of the ECE department and associate dean for academic affairs in the College of Engineering. He was the ECE department head at NC State from 2009 to 2023, and executive director of the IBM Quantum Innovation Center at NC State from 2019 to 2024. He has built numerous technologies over the course of his career, including technologies for distributing wireless signals through HVAC ducts. And these kinds of systems have been installed in Chicago's Trump Towers and McCormick Place Convention Center. The demonstration of neutrino communications by a multidisciplinary team coordinated by Dr. Stancil was recognized by Physics World magazine as one of the top 10 physics breakthroughs of 2012. Dr. Stancil is a life fellow of the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers and has served as president of the IEEE Magnetics Society as well as the National ECE Department Heads Association. He is a licensed amateur radio operator with the call sign WY30. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Stancil.
Thank you, Professor Misra, for that kind introduction. And congratulations, graduates, on achieving this milestone in your career. You know, one of the enjoyable things about being head of the ECE department for a number of years was following the exciting research of our faculty and students. As some of you may know, one area of research in our department is exploring the use of DNA to store information, basically a DNA computer memory. I was interested at one point to learn that there was a problem with one of the experiments. It so happened that there were both graduate students and undergraduate students involved in the project. The lead graduate student on the project asked one of the undergraduate students to figure out what was going wrong. After spending several days analyzing every aspect of the experiment, the undergraduate student came back to the graduate student and reported that she had found the problem. She told the graduate student that the problem was that the DNA was spelled backwards. To this, the graduate student replied, "And?" Have to apologize to Professor Tuck. As we approach the end of the calendar year, it occurs to me that graduation has some things in common with New Year's Day. It's a time of both reflection on your past experiences and accomplishments, as well as a time of looking forward to new opportunities. One of my distinct memories from graduate school is coming to myself one day and admitting that I was tired of doing weekly problem sets. I wanted to do something real, so I concentrated on my research from that point on. I won't ask for a show of hands, but I suspect that some of you have also come to the point that you would rather do something real instead of another problem set. Many of you already have a gig lined up, perhaps a job or continuation in graduate school. If so, additional congratulations are in order. Others may be still exploring possibilities, and even those that have plans lined up now will have decision points about opportunities in the future. My dad came of age during the Great Depression and subsequently served in the Navy in World War II. I remember once he told me that one of the differences in our experience is that I had choices. He lived through times when you were glad to have any honest work. Today, individual situations still vary, and there may be times when you have choices and other times when the choices appear to be very limited. However, it may be helpful for you to realize that your experience to date has only made you aware of a very small part of the opportunity space that your electrical and computer engineering degree has prepared you for. I'm certain there are exciting possibilities out there that haven't even occurred to you. So how do you approach the forks in the road when you're considering changes and new opportunities? Having been in such positions several times, noting my advanced age, I have some suggestions about things for you to consider as you make these choices. Before jumping in, however, I think it's helpful to realize that this is not a life or death decision, nor the final decision that commits you to a direction in your career. So while it is definitely worth careful consideration, and while it is true that each choice you make influences future choices that may be available to you, you shouldn't agonize over this. I can assure you there will be plenty of chances for new starts and new directions if you happen to make a choice that doesn't work out as you hoped. So back to my suggestions. My thoughts can be summarized by three key things to consider: relationships, excitement, and values, or REV for short. You can think of these as key things to help you rev up your career, and then you can feel free to groan. Let's first consider relationships. Many of you have seen, and perhaps will see again over the next few weeks, the sappy 1946 holiday classic with James Stewart, It's a Wonderful Life. A particularly memorable part of the movie is when a young, ambitious George Bailey graduates from high school and announces to his sweetheart, "I'm shaking the dust of this crummy little town off my feet, and I'm gonna see the world. Italy, Greece, the Parthenon, the Colosseum. Then I'm coming back here to college and see what they know. And then I'm gonna build things." In case you haven't seen it, I'll not go into too much detail about the plot, except to say that his life and career did not turn out as he initially planned. But what he did discover was that the thing that gave him joy and satisfaction in his life was his relationships with family and friends, not what he did or did not accomplish in his career. So what does this have to do with your job or career choices? I encourage you at the outset to consider what impact different choices may have on the relationships that matter most to you, whether it's friends, family, or a significant other. Note that even though exploring the world didn't work out for George Bailey, I'm definitely not discouraging you from striking out on a great adventure. My wife and I, as newlyweds, packed up all our belongings in a U-Haul truck and moved from a little college town in Middle Tennessee to the big city of Boston to attend graduate school. This was an adventure that I believe had a very positive impact on my career and life. Next, after considering possible impacts on relationships, does a particular opportunity get you excited? I've always felt that what you find exciting is particularly mysterious. Who can say what makes a topic or job interesting and exciting to a particular person? I certainly respect those who discover the excitement of electrical and computer engineering in college or even later in life. But for some reason, from the earliest I can remember, circuits and wires got me excited. Neither of my parents were technical or in engineering fields, so it's a bit of a mystery to me where this passion came from. Maybe my DNA was misspelled, I don't know. However, even within ECE, there are some topics that I get excited about more than others. So when you consider a particular job opportunity, ask yourself if what you would be doing gets you excited. There very well could be two opportunities that make positive contributions to the world and make perfect sense with respect to your qualifications, but one just makes you feel blah, while the other would make you excited to get up and go to work every day. Several times over my career, I've made decisions that immediately gave me sinking feelings in the gut. Of course, doing the right thing can sometimes be difficult and requires great courage. However, in many cases, such a sinking feeling after making a decision may be telling you something very important. Something that may be helpful in such cases is to make a decision privately and live with it for a day or two before taking action. If every time you think about it, you get that sinking feeling, this may be telling you something. On the flip side, if you find yourself getting excited and can't wait to start, that's probably an indication that you chose wisely. Finally, if you find a job that is consistent with growing the relationships that are most important to you, and that the work makes a positive contribution and gets you excited every time you think about it, are you ready to sign on the dotted line? I suggest that there is one final consideration. What are the people like who would be your colleagues at work? Do they share your values? Are they people you would like to be more like? What is the atmosphere like? Is it collegial, or do people try to undercut each other? If you dread going to work every day because of the people you would have to interact with, this will ruin the otherwise perfect job. In response to the growing incivility of public discourse over the past few years, several years ago, our faculty adopted a value statement for the department. I hope you've seen it around the department and on our website, but most importantly, I hope that you've helped the department to be consistent with these values. The basic gist of the value statement is that regardless of your national origin, skin color, religion, political affiliations, or gender, you should feel welcome and safe in the ECE department. The only requirement is that you want to become a world-class engineer. So the final consideration that I recommend is whether or not the environment makes you feel welcome, supported, valued, and safe. And whether your colleagues are people you would like to be more like and who share your values. Of course, once you accept a job, it's your shared responsibility to help grow the positive atmosphere. So there you have it. Rev up your career by considering relationships, excitement, and values each time you reach a crossroads. In closing, sometimes in life we find that celebrations are mixed with sadness. So it is today as we are saddened by the untimely passing of Professor Marshall Brain. Professor Brain was a very creative and innovative entrepreneur, computer scientist, and engineer, and you will honor his memory as you become successful, innovative professionals as well. Congratulations once more, and may you have the sort of career and life that gives you deep satisfaction. Thank you.